The malicious McCain mailings come to the house and they surprise me as much as they probably surprise you. This one showed up in my mailbox. Congressman J.D. Hayworth, lobbyist for hire. And, well, it has me with a crew cut here, but let me tell you who's getting the real haircut. It's the voters of Arizona and the taxpayers of the United States. Because understand, John McCain's key political advisors, his campaign manager, Mark Busey, and his longtime political advisor, Charlie Black, have been big-time Washington lobbyists. In fact, campaign manager Mark Busey was paid $460,000 by the troubled federal financial entity for housing, Freddie Mac. And Charlie Black, he was paid by Freddie Mac in excess of $800,000, $820,000 to lobby. Now, it would be funny if it weren't so cynical. Here are two Washington insiders and lobbyists telling John McCain to call me a Washington insider and a lobbyist. Now, in addition to the overblown rhetoric and the crazy television commercials with limos and private jets that I couldn't afford, although maybe Mark Busey and Charlie Black could, here's the truth. After I left the Congress, when I was ethically able to do so, I believe a year following my departure from Congress, I got a call from a man who grew up in my hometown and someone with whom I'd taken a college course. And he said, "JD, look, I need some help. My member of Congress is being unresponsive. I have an issue dealing with my intellectual property, and a powerful Washington lobby, the tax attorneys, are leaning on the Treasury Department to try and get a ruling that would take away my intellectual property." So I helped my old friend. We went to Capitol Hill, and in the final analysis, if memory serves, 10 members of Congress signed a letter to those Treasury Department bureaucrats reminding them that ultimately it was Congress that had the authority to issue patents, not regulators within the Treasury Department. Shortly after we completed that contract, for which I was paid $10,000, a reasonable and customary fee, certainly not the the hundreds of thousands of dollars paid to Charlie Black and Mark Busey, I, shortly thereafter, terminated my registration as a lobbyist. That's all there was to it. And yet to see this overblown rhetoric, and there's something else that's troubling here. Understand, John McCain and his team of lobbyists are criticizing me for following the law. You see, I sought out the advice of legal counsel about the whole notion, dealing with these new laws. The response I got from the attorneys was, you know, JD, we're not even sure that this rises to the level of deserving to be reported and having you register as a lobbyist. I said to them, look, it's not like that old saying you heard as a kid, when in doubt, leave it out. Quite the contrary. Let me err on the side of caution. That's why I registered as a lobbyist, to make sure I was following the letter of the law. Now understand how hypocritical John McCain is, not only with these Washington lobbyists managing his campaign and offering him political advice in addition to millions of dollars in campaign donations, but John McCain is criticizing me for following the law, when on 2 occasions with Ted Kennedy, he teamed up to write amnesty legislation, asking you and me and other Americans to forgive those who deliberately broke our immigration laws. No, this is just more evidence that if you want to change Washington in all these cynical ways, we've got to retire John McCain.